San Francisco. Glad we didn't have to travel back to Maryland and travel back out. So staying out here, I think it's been a lot of fun being with the guys and kind of touring San Francisco a little bit and seeing some sights.
Okay, we'll open it up to questions for the room. Middle, second row.
Hey, Kevin, Gene Wong, Washington Post. Right after Derek hits that shot, he gives a shout out to Baltimore. I just wanted to get your thoughts on why you think he felt compelled to mention his hometown and how important that is to him.
You know, the more time you spend in Baltimore, you know, it gets a really bad rap sometimes, and it's a phenomenal city with great people that really love where they come from. They love their sports. So I think, you know, and Derek said it, it's not easy getting out of Baltimore. So when you see someone coming out of Baltimore having the success that he has had, Baltimore kids take a lot of pride in where they come from, as they should, because it's a great city with great people.
The relationship between him and Jew, another Baltimore guy, just how has that grown and developed, and just how's Jew kind of taken him under his wing a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, Jew's been a big brother all year, you know, and I think on the court he's helped Derek develop tremendously with physicality, getting used to it in the Big Ten. And I think Derek, conversely, has been a great little brother because he's always joking around, he's always smiling. I think it's really helped Jew enjoy his senior year and really relax.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun. Coach, Florida is a team that plays about 8 or 9 deep. I'm just curious, and you've relied heavily on your starters for minutes. I'm just curious about that aspect of the matchup and what's going to be required of your starters, stamina-wise, to deal with Florida in that.
No, yeah, we're gonna have to play all 4 of our bigs for sure. I think they remind me a lot the way they run of Michigan State, and how Michigan State brings 4 big guys in and just tries to wear you down. I think Florida does the same thing. They shoot the basketball much better than the Michigan State team does. I think it's the biggest difference. But we're gonna have to play all 4 bigs. There's just no way Derek and Jew are going to be able to log 36 minutes against this team. They run consistently. They're fresh. They're as good as a basketball team as I've seen on film all year.
Lindsay Schnell, The Athletic. Kevin, I'm curious, what makes Jew a good rebounder besides the fact that it runs in the family?
I don't know. To be perfectly honest, I think you'd have to ask him that. He did. I don't know. I mean, I would say probably playing one-on-one with Angel all those years. I mean, they both have tremendous motors. They're both highly competitive. Jew is really strong, and I think, you know, being a big guy, especially going through AAU now in high school basketball, the only way you really get the basketball is if you set a pick and roll or if you get a rebound. And you know, for me, he's always had a good feel for where the ball is going to go. I think that'd be the sexy answer. Is he has a really good feel for where shots are going to miss. Like, he just doesn't run to the same spot every time. He kind of understands who's shooting it, where it's going. Like, Rodney shoots it a little flatter than Kobe. Kobe's misses are a little bit bouncier. Rod's are a little bit harder. He kind of understands that a little bit.
Hey, Coach. Sam Jane, Inside Maryland Sports. I wanted to ask, Florida's obviously one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country, particularly their guards, and that's something you've mentioned has kind of been a struggle the past couple of games. How do you expect to kind of combat them on the glass? Yeah,
we're not going to switch as much nearly as we have. The switching has really, I went back and watched our last 3 games. The switching has really hurt us tremendously, and I think we're going to try to switch a whole lot less than we have. You know, they remind me of Illinois in the fact that Illinois rebounds from the guard spot tremendously, big guards. You know, so try to switch and just really make it a factor. I think they score something crazy, like 32% of their points come off offensive rebounds. I've never seen anything like that in my life. It is an unbelievable stat. So as good as they are as they shoot it, as good as they are in transition, you get a stop and then they punish you on the offensive glass. And I think that's why they're so good and they've had so much success, is that they beat you so many different ways.
Front row.
I can hear you.
Okay, Christian Babcock with the Bay Area News Group. thing got started, and what do you think of how that's kind of taken off?
The guy that runs our collective actually called me and said, have you seen this Crab 5 thing? And I hadn't seen it. I'm not much on social media anymore. So when I kind of, he trademarked it right away and made the T-shirts, and it was obviously they just got those guys are going to be paid. They just got paid the royalties from the T-shirts. I think a student started it, and it just took over, and I think it was really cool. I don't know how it started. I don't know who started it, but I'm glad that these guys are making some money off it because it's really cool. I think things like that are true NIL. I actually think is what originally what the rule was kind of. I think it's really cool when you actually make money off your name, image, and likeness instead of us just paying them. So I think it's great. I think you got to always look for opportunities to kind of do that. Yes.
Kyle Goon, Baltimore Banner. Kevin, obviously, you've been very open the last week about trying to get greater NIL share, revenue share. I'm sure you saw Mike Loxley yesterday said he would prefer to keep some of these issues in-house. Why have you felt like kind of bringing this discussion in the open has been the best way to advocate for your program?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I think our biggest thing is we got to stop Clayton. He's really good. He shoots the basketball going left 48%. He shoots it right going at like 38%. So really the last couple of days, trying to come up with a game plan to stop Clayton, because I just think he's one of the best guards in the country that we've seen. And then really, obviously trying to fix our rebounding woes have been at the top of my mind too. So yeah, it's a big problem.
Lindsay Schnell, The Athletic. I actually was going to ask you about Clayton, so let's roll off that. Hurley said last week that one thing that stood out to him was how quick Clayton's release is, which is impressive considering how small he is. He really understands how he needs to get the ball off. Does that jump out to you? Is there a player that he reminds you of?
Yeah, I mean, one of them sitting right there, holding a trophy. Yeah, he reminds me of Steph a little bit of how good he is off the dribble. It really is amazing that he shoots the like we get a scouting report done by our analytical company, and he grades better than any player that they've ever had analytically, shooting the basketball off the dribble, going right, off the dribble, going left. If you go under pick and rolls, what he shoots, it's almost an amazing stat of how good he is. He just has that, and when you watch him on film, what I love about him is like if he misses 3 in a row, his body language and it don't matter. Like a lot of kids get a little sensitive when they miss 2 or 3 in a row. He's just going to keep coming right at you. And I think that's what makes him such a great shooter, is that he has so much confidence in himself that he's going to make the next one.
Coach, you obviously went on the radio last night or yesterday and talked about kind of working with somebody in the athletic department. I just wanted to know if there were any updates that you had for us about it.
Yeah, we're playing Florida. It's a big matchup for us. Like this is all about the Sweet 16 and these guys enjoying this as much as possible. I've enjoyed it tremendously. I do love this town. It's a great town, great food. Got to have dinner with PJ Carlissimo last night, which is, I think, always a lot of fun. The stories we get to tell about Seton Hall. And Chris Mullen joined us. Coach Van Gundy joined us. We had a great time last night.
Ed Lee with Baltimore Sun. Kevin, you mentioned how many of the guys on this team have not played in the NCAA tournament. This being the first time in the Sweet 16, is that an area of concern for you, or is it perhaps more liberating if these guys are not unfamiliar with this stage and maybe can play a little bit more freely?
No, I'm hoping by now, the first 5 minutes of Grand Canyon, I was a little nervous because these guys were all a little nervous besides Jew. And then I thought the Colorado State game I thought was just, a regular, really good basketball game. But I thought the nerves had kind of gone away. So I'm sure they're going to be nervous. I hope they're nervous. It's a great opportunity. I mean, it's part of life is, having opportunities. You're going to be a little nervous. You're going to be a little excited. And I think that's great. I think that's part of what makes this tournament so unbelievable. They're going to remember being nervous when the tip comes tomorrow at 4:10.
Hey, Kevin. Jonas Schaefer, Baltimore Banner. I think you've talked about the analytics company or the analytics guy. Is there anything you can share about just who that is, what that is, and maybe big takeaways about how it's kind of shaped your thinking about modern offense and the way that you guys want to play?
I don't think I can comment on the company, but so I've always been a data guy. You know, the KenPom stuff, all that stuff. I think everything you can do to kind of get an edge helps. In the last 2 years, it's dramatically changed. I mean, it's all AI. I mean, his company has 50 computers in downtown Washington D.C. and there's no human bias whatsoever. It's not like, well, Clayton might go this way. The computer grades the game. So it's not a person typing. It's not like Synergy is graded by, you know, someone goes in there and grades it with Synergy. This is all done by AI. And so when you get these reports, and we get the reports on the portal, kids, it's amazing how accurate they are. So I go and watch film on Clayton, and I grade it myself, and I have all my notes, and then I go back and I get his reports. And they're so spot on, it's scary. And so it's gotten so advanced that if you don't use it, I think you're falling behind. And for us, it grades our offense, what plays I need to run for guys going to the right, what guys I should run early in the game, who plays better at the end of the game. I mean, it's deep. And I think it's been a great investment by, you know, and Damon was awesome. It was a great investment. He met with them, loved them. I think he's helped Locks with the football too. I think he's helped women's basketball too. So I think it's something that's, you know, we've invested in, and it's helped us tremendously.
Got time for one more question. We'll go to the front row here.
Coach, I'm just curious, you know, with all this Crab 5 stuff, you mentioned you had a nice dinner in San Francisco. You know, do you like crab? Do your players like crab? You know, we're known for crab around here a little bit. Just curious about that.
So Juju loves crabs. Coach Cox loves crabs. I like crab cake. I feel like the whole process of going through and cracking the crab and peeling the crab and doing all that just to get, like, it's not that much crab. Like, it's a lot of work. I mean, if no one's ever done it, I mean, it's really cool to have a couple beers with friends and, you know, do it down by the harbor. It's really good, but I'd prefer someone just make me a nice crab cake, and I love crab cake. So, yeah, you're into this crab 5. I like it. I love it. I think it's awesome. I'm glad someone's concentrating on the game and the team. Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
The answers everyone wants to know are about crab, of course. Let's take a look at the stat lines for these two teams. Florida and Maryland season comparisons, not too far apart in terms of conference records, but we all know the SEC was a gauntlet this season with an NCAA record, 14 teams making it into the NCAA tournament. And then in terms of points per game and opponent points per game, not too far off, but when you actually look at the efficiency numbers, it's the Terps with a much more efficient defense, Florida with a much more efficient offense. We welcome you back into our studios. We are going to hear from some Maryland players here coming up in just a few. In the meantime, what do you expect to see in terms of the offense versus defensive battle in this game?
Well, I think it's just going to be a matter of, you heard Coach Willard talk about, they're not going to switch nearly as much because they don't want to put, especially with the ability to potentially get in foul trouble, they don't want to put their bigs out on an island.
Well, let's hear from some of those players now in San Francisco.
Middle.
Lindsay Schnell, The Athletic. I was just asking Coach, what does he think makes Ju such a good rebounder, besides the fact that runs in his family, obviously, with Angel. What do you guys think, playing with him?
I mean, I think he uses his body well. I mean, he's tall, and he's strong, so I feel like he just knows how to use his body, and he wants to get rebound.
Yeah, same thing. I think he's always just right there. The ball just comes to his hand, so.
Josh.
Josh DeBell from AP. Just both of you guys, what it's been like being able to spend the whole week out here from Seattle to here and just not having to fly back and forth, and what's the experience been like the last couple of days, just having some time off here?
Yeah, it's been fun just hanging out with our teammates, just team bonding. A lot of us never been to Cali, so it's been fun to get out here and see it and stuff.
Yeah, same thing. The weather is nice and the food is nice. and yeah, we in Cali.
Janie?
Hi guys, Jeannie McCauley from Associated Press. What activities have you done, and what have you done away from the basketball court to sort of, keep everybody light and not feeling, too much just like it's a basketball trip?
We had a lot of time to walk around, walk around where we at. We went to eat, little nice places, and then just enjoy each other, every moment we can without the basketball.
Did you know it was so hilly in San Francisco?
No, not
Did
yet.
you get some hills?
Yeah, I've seen a lot. I didn't know that, though. I didn't know coming here that it was hilly like that.
And you guys in this tournament in general, do you feel like there's, it's sort of anybody's run to make, because there's maybe not a Cinderella team, there's maybe not a team that, will win it for sure. Is that just this time of year?
Oh yeah, I think so. All the 16 teams are good enough to win it all, so anything can happen at this point.
Front row.
I guess Christian Babcock with the Bay Area News Group. I was curious, this Crab 5 thing has kind of gone national now. What is it, like to, have your own brand, kind of have your own nickname that it seems like is going to stand the test of time, like the Fab 5 and like all those other great teams that made a run in this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to be mentioned with the Fab 5, and they kind of made us like the Crab 5. It's cool, but I mean, we have a whole team, so I feel like, it's cool to like, everybody's saying it, but I feel like we also have a whole team.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, it's pretty cool, but at the same time, we got like 15 guys, 13 guys, yeah, so should be like the Crab 15. But yeah, we embrace it, we happy for it, and yeah, it's been fun.
Lindsay Schnell, The Athletic. We were talking to Coach about Walter Clayton Jr., how good he is, how quickly he releases the ball. What have you guys seen on film that stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta guard him. You can't give him no space. He gets the three off really quick, so we just gotta make sure he can't get to his spots.
Yeah, he's a really good player, so we just gotta be on him all night.
Further questions from the room?
Hi guys, Chris Alvarez from ABC7 here in San Francisco. Welcome. You've been in a lot of different arenas in your time. I'm just curious your thoughts on Chase Center and playing in the house. The Warriors have won a lot here. Steph Curry plays here, so just your general thoughts on that.
I think it's probably the best arena I've been in. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll say the same. We're excited to play here. It's a big dream come true playing NBA arena. So especially the Warriors.
Rocco.
Hey, Rocco Miller, Bracketeer.org. Selton and Ja'Kobi, I covered you both last year at Belmont in South Florida. It's been a year now. What's this year been like growth-wise and playing at this higher level of college basketball?
It's been pretty fun, It's been pretty fun. Just because, there's a group of guys that came from different schools, and we all, got together to be here, We had this goal since June that we are going to come together and try to make the tournament. So it's been fun. We're not satisfied at all because we want more, but it's been really fun. We're grateful for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fun just coming here with a whole bunch of, because there was a lot of transfers coming in together, so I feel like we all came in and had the same goal to play deep in the postseason, so I feel like we're finally here doing that, so yeah, it's been fun.
Ashley.
Hey guys, Ashley Adamson, Big Ten Network. I think when even a freshman as talented as Derek Queen, you never quite know how they might show up when the stage gets to the NCAA tournament and the lights are brighter. What have you seen from him in the postseason, and what has he brought to the locker room, his personality?
I would say in the core, he's being as consistent as I feel like as any top freshman in the country. He never high, never low. He always the same. Even off the court, he's a really good kid to be around. He's fun to be around. But yeah, he's just Derek. You're gonna give for him whatever you get in the court. You're gonna give for him outside the court. So he don't change.
Yeah, I feel like he's just like a really confident player. He's not gonna shy away from any big time moment. So.
Further questions from the room? Any questions from our Zoom group? Okay, guys. Thank you. Best of luck this week.